Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of Pretty Little Lattes. Today we are discussing Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Woohoo!
We've been doing lots of TV show slash movie.
That's
Actually, I
true.
don't think we've been doing any movies. What did we do?
We
We
did
did
the
Star Wars and we
series.
did Game of Thrones. So we've been kind of in a TV show franchise, whatever kind of mood.
Yeah, we're just kind of in a mood. But Avatar: The Last Airbender is like one we've been watching since we were kids. At least I remember watching it at least part of the way through back when it was airing episode by episode out on Nickelodeon when I was younger.
So I remember, I don't even know how old I was, like 8, I feel like I was 8 or something. I remember we would watch one episode every night. But I know that this was after all the episodes were already released. I just remember that you and me and Dad, I don't think Mom watched it with us, did she?
I think the second time we full on marathoned it, but not the first time.
Yeah, so for the first time it was just you and me and Dad, and every night we would watch one episode. And I remember when we came upon the 2-parter episodes, we would beg please let us watch the second part.
Oh my god, it's so true. For especially the winter solstice, all those ones, those are so intense. You just have to watch both of them in one go, or it's just
We're specifically doing that for the episode the season 2 finale, I believe it was, with the drill. Was that the season 2 finale? Or was that
I don't think it was the finale.
That's a mid-season. Anyways, there's a 2-parter, and I remember.
Maybe it was I think it was the episode before the finale. I'm not sure. God, we need to rewatch.
By the way, spoilers.
Hashtag spoilers. I put it in the title. So, but yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender, holy shit. I have rewatched, at least myself, I've rewatched the series at least 5 times all the way through.
I've watched it a lot. I watch it maybe once every 2 years, because I have it memorized by heart, so I can't just watch every year, otherwise it would get really repetitive. But we actually just finished rewatching it a few months ago. We as in Mom, Dad, and I.
Yeah, and then Jeremy and I actually just finished rewatching it around the same time that you guys did.
That's right. Yeah, because it came out on Netflix. That's why. So each of our households were like, "Oh my god, it's on Netflix! We gotta watch it!"
And it was better quality when it was on Netflix. I guess. I also rewatched at least 2, maybe it was 3 seasons of Legend of Korra, but I know you guys aren't as big of a fan of Legend of Korra.
Okay, so yeah, Sissy wanted this to be an Avatar: Last Airbender / Legend of Korra episode, but I'm gonna be real with you guys, I don't like Legend of Korra. I think it's a terrible show.
Do you have reasoning behind that?
Okay, so here's the main thing. Avatar: The Last Airbender was so good because it was an overarching plot, oh, we have to defeat the Fire Lord, and we have to teach Aang all of the elements, and so that was what it was for all 3 seasons. But Legend of Korra is a new plot each season. They're not really connected with each other, I feel like, and I like the characters, but okay, actually the number one reason why I don't like Legend of Korra nearly as much is because I don't like the modern setting. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, I loved how, I don't know if this is right, how rural it was. Do you know what I mean?
But I guess so. The technologies in it weren't as advanced.
Yeah, because Legend of Korra had skyscrapers and stuff, and I lost that kind of. It lost a lot of the whimsical.
They didn't have skyscrapers, but yeah, they did have definitely more advancement in technologies because of oh my god, I can't remember her name. Starts with an A. Her dad. Asami. There we go. Her dad was the inventor of the car, the plane, pretty much all of that. The only real invention that we ever kind of fully on saw in Avatar: The Last Airbender were the air balloons. And Sokka actually helped with that, if you remember that episode.
I mean, I don't really remember anything about Legend of Korra, to be honest, because I've only seen each season once, and because I just didn't like it.
I loved season 1 and I didn't like too much of the others. But my only issue is that, like, they put her up against, like, so many things that could make, like, going up against Fire Lord Ozai, like, nothing. Like, she goes against, like, not only, like, Amon, who could take away your bending, which is, like, something only the avatars can normally do, so that's, like, what the fuck, you know? And then she goes up against, like, spirits in Roku. And, like, a whole bunch of, like, real, like, crazy stuff. So I feel like the way they did that made it seem like the Avatar The Last Airbender series, like, their journey was not as important, in my opinion. And that's one thing that I don't like as much, is because, like, I feel like it's so important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But yeah, so I rewatched, like, the first 2 seasons or something like that, but I never got around to rewatching, like, the 4th season. I just didn't really like it as much, honestly. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, we've both watched all the way through. It's absolutely amazing. Highly recommend it for anyone who has not watched it. I mean, the best thing about it is that even when you're older and you rewatch it, like, there's things you miss. Like, there's things you learn from watching the show. Like, it grows with you. Like, when I was a kid watching it, there's a lot of these, like, lessons or, you know, like, values, blah, 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 that are, like, really sweet that you see, like, in the show that I had, like, no idea what the fuck they were, like, talking about as a kid. But growing up, I'm, like, starting to pick up on more things. And overall, it's just, like, so wholesome. And, like, you see, like, so many of them, like, struggle, and, like, their arches, like, their story arches are absolutely insane.
Did you say arches?
Yeah, story arches.
Arcs.
Arcs.
Their story arc. Character arc.
It's too early for this.
You're adorable, sissy.
I feel like arches could work too, though.
No, it's arc.
Story arches, like, go around
story
too.
arch. If you say story arch, nobody's gonna know what you're talking about.
You know what? I could reinvent some language, you know? I could definitely do that.
English language.
I'm gonna redo it all myself. I'm just gonna become a linguistics genius, because I loved linguistics class so much. Oh, God. But you know what I mean. Like,
I know what you mean.
They're arcs. Arcs. There you go. I'm saying it better. Were insane, especially Zuko's. Just saying.
I remember in the Game of Thrones episode, we were talking a lot about character arcs and how some of the characters were, like, they had really good arcs, but still the number one best character arc that I've ever seen, like, in all time, is definitely Zuko. He just did he went through a total transformation, but it was very natural. Like, it didn't feel forced at all. It felt very natural, and it wasn't rushed. Like, it took him 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, it was progressed very well.
Yeah.
And Uncle Iroh, their relationship.
Oh my God. Literally, Zuko and Uncle Iroh's relationship is probably my favorite thing in the whole thing. Like, the whole series is, like, their relationship, like, the scenes with them and, like, their bonding, especially since, you know, like, Iroh is so different than Ozai, and you feel for, like, Zuko in the beginning with, like, how shit his dad treated him and, like, never liked him and always liked Azula, whatever.
Burned him.
Yeah, and, like, did that, and then exiled him to find the Avatar, who no one had seen for 100 years, so pretty much they were just telling him to do that just to get him out of there, and then tell him to never come back, but in a nicer way, honestly. But it was just awful. But, like, Uncle Iroh is literally so sweet. Like, he always talks about, like, the loss of, like, his son and everything like that. Like, the episodes where he's, like, missing his son on his son's birthday and all that. And he just talks about, like, how proud he is of, like, Zuko. It's just so sweet. I can't handle it. I can't
listen to Leaves on the Vine without crying.
Oh, my God.
I can't. It's so sad.
It's so good.
I love Iroh so much.
Like, oh my God. Like, the story. And, like, not all episodes I'm a big fan of. One of them is Appa's Lost Days. But that's because I can't
I like
handle
that
Appa.
episode.
You
It's
do?
a good episode though.
I can't handle it. I can't watch it. I like want to cry like instantly every
It's
time.
extremely sad, but it makes the reuniting
That's
with
true.
Appa. It makes it even stronger.
It
So,
does
it's an important
show a
episode.
side of Aang that we didn't see before, because like he always talked about like never hurting a fly, right? But then like one of those bee things was like flying away in the desert after he lost Appa, and he like airbended it out of the sky. And so like weird to assume it died. And so like it kind of like shows like him losing Appa, who is also like one of the only connections he has left to the airbenders, like his people that he grew up with, and like how powerful that is. I mean, my god. And plus he like lashed out so much at the others for it too. Like he like full on went on his own for a little bit.
They have good character arcs. I mean, because Aang was just like a freaking little kid, and also like he saved the universe, and then Appa's gone, and like this heartbreak, because Appa's like his last connection to his home, and then Appa's gone, and then he's like all alone, and it's like
This
so
is so sad. Like holy shit. Like watching as a
sad.
kid, I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But as an adult, my heart breaks for him in these episodes. It's so crazy, like how good they do at making you care and love for these characters so much.
Yeah.
Because that's like honestly, I feel like a lot of screenwriters say that's like one of the bigger things. They just want people to like feel for like these characters that they like write about and try to bring to life. And I feel like they fully did that, not only for us but a whole bunch of other people. I full on love the series. I'm even a part of a Facebook group called The Order of the White Lotus. And it's just pretty much all Avatar The Last Airbender memes. And so you asked me why I'm on Facebook, Sissy, and that is why I'm on Facebook. Because that's pretty much my whole feed.
Avatar The Last Airbender memes.
That and Star Wars memes, because I'm in 3 or 4 different Star Wars groups. So that's my feed on Facebook. So, because I still love Facebook. But I'm just gonna say this, and people are gonna be upset, but I am a Zutara fan. I didn't like Aang and Katara together.
I don't think Aang and Katara work together at all.
I mean,
I don't sense any chemistry. They have such a sibling relationship, in my opinion. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't help it. Aang just seems. I know that. I think Aang. At the end of the series, I think Aang is 12 and Katara is 15.
Yeah.
I think
so.
So I know that like they don't have that big of an age gap, but still,
But it
Aang
feels
seems
like it.
so young compared to Katara.
Mm-hmm.
Like maturity wise, like I just saw such a chemistry between them that way.
And you have to admit, like, the freaking chemistry between Katara and Zuko is freaking insane! Like,
that the fight with Azula, with the lightning
the final Agni Kai, like...
He jumps out to take the lightning hit for
her. I can't, like, oh my god, like, the scene where, like, they talk about how they've lost their mothers and, like, the similarities they have when they're in the cave in season 2, you know, before he makes the choice to go with Azula, because, you know, Zuko makes mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. In the end, he was good. In the end, that's what mattered, and he found his way back. But, you know, when they were talking about that, and she was gonna use, like, the, like, miracle water to try to heal his scar before they were rudely interrupted by Aang. No, it's fine. But, like, their chemistry there was insane. And then when they, also did her little adventure where she tried to find the, firebender who killed their mom. #spoilers. But, like, they go on a mission because, like, Sokka gotta go on a mission, and so, like, Zuko is, like, taking in all these missions, you know, but, like, he convinces her not to, like, kill him, you know, like, after so much anger and how much she said that she wants to kill the guy that killed her mother, he Zuko, this guy for like 2 to 3 seasons who is just like, I want to get the avatar. I don't care like who I take down in the process. Like he didn't care about anything, and it's just like you see that, and she like actually listens. Like they challenge each other, and then like the Agni Kai scene where like, okay, I just have to say like his firebending is amazing, and it's like he's great. Um, I had a little crush on Zuko as a child. I did, like older Zuko. A little, wasn't too obsessive. A little crush.
That's what you say about all your crushes.
But no, Zuko is just another level. But he like Agni Kai is supposed to be like 1-on-1, and like freaking Azula, because she's batshit crazy at that moment. Not saying she wasn't always batshit crazy, but she was real batshit crazy. I mean, she had just cut her own hair, so
she was. Oh man, she also had good. She had a good arc. I mean, she wasn't just crazy because they wanted her to be crazy. Like, you could kind of, I mean, she obviously kind of was demented from the beginning. Like, when we see these flashbacks of her as a kid, she's kind of creepy, crazy. But also, like, her mom didn't really love her. And that's so sad, and that's definitely going to traumatize a child.
Yeah, well, it's because, like, she had all the traits, well, not all the traits, but way more traits relating to Ozai, and I think the mom was just like, she isn't like that, and that's why she was so much more like loving towards Zuko, because she knew deep down that he had like the kind soul. Now Zula had these traits, and I honestly think if she hadn't lived with Ozai and roles were reversed, I think Azula could have ended up good in the end. I don't think that she was always evil. But I think like just like I feel like if Zuko had stayed with Ozai, I think he could have gotten to that point too.
I mean, he kind of did get to that point.
Yeah, in
the beginning, but then he saw the truth.
Yeah, so I honestly think that like if Azula wasn't in that environment, maybe she would have been better. I mean, you see like a nice side of her at one point, like in the beach scene, and they're like all like friends, you know what I mean? So it was like you could tell that she sometimes even like was mean to her friends, but then she would apologize. She has feelings.
She turned on her friends. She turned on, well, I guess technically May and Tylee
May turned on her first because May saved Zuko and Sokka. Yeah. So, and Suki and Sokka's father. So, that's why. And then Tylee turned on her because she sided with May.
Azula just didn't have anybody to look up to other than Ozai, and Ozai he didn't really feel love, so he couldn't give her the love that she needed, and so she just grew up so like lonely, you know. And so that, you know, but yeah, that episode where she becomes like the Fire Lord and yeah, she cuts her own hair and she yells at the servant for the grape and like. Or cherry pit or whatever it was, and
yeah, because there's cherry pits in her cherry. She's like, "Why are there cherry pits in my cherries?" And she's like,
I mean, like,
go that way.
And she like freaks out and smashes a mirror. You know, like they have very good, intense, emotional scenes. Yeah. And Avatar: The Last Airbender is like, it's what I love to see in cartoons. I will never understand why we don't get more cartoons. Like Avatar: Airbender. Like most cartoons that come out nowadays are targeted only towards really young children, but Avatar: Airbender can be enjoyed by both children and adults because of very mature themes and like I just don't understand why there aren't more cartoons like it. Why can't we make cartoons both children and adults enjoy? I mean, that's like what the whole thing with like Disney and Pixar, that's what they try to do. You know, I don't know why there aren't more like on just TV. I don't know why we don't have more TV shows like Avatar: Airbender that are targeted both towards adults and kids. Because I love cartoons. I love animation. It's so expressive. You can do so much more with it.
Yeah.
as opposed to like live action, you know, like I feel like it's so much more artistic. I mean, obviously it's more artistic because it's being drawn, but like personally, I have a huge admiration for like 2D animation, and so
That's true, you do. You really
I
love
do.
2D
I
animation.
do, and so I love Avatar: The Last Airbender because it's such a good 2D animated show. And people, if I tell people like, oh, you should watch Avatar, they're like, isn't it a kids show? Like, it's not just a kids show. Like, it's super mature. It's so mature.
Yeah, and there's like even the scenes where people are like, that's totally like a kid scene. It's still like funny to adults too. I mean, my God, Secret Tunnel is like literally one of the funniest things. Oh my God.
Secret tunnel.
And it still like brings a smile to my face. Or like Melon Lord when she's Melon Lord. Oh God.
Melon Lord.
But I just think it's like insanely. It's just an amazing show. And I just like, yeah, and the cabbages.
Yeah, chat. My cabbages.
I love that some people this past Halloween, I saw like multiple people on Instagram actually dressed up. Like the one person was the cabbage person and someone dressed up as cabbage. Like it was just adorable.
Like outfit, yeah, I know that.
Oh my God. But no, overall the series just makes me so happy. And I always put it on, honestly, in the background. Like if I'm ever having like a blet day or like I need to get stuff done without like focusing too hard, I usually put on Avatar: The Last Airbender now that it's on Netflix. And I've rewatched that final like episode so many times because like that Agni Kai is probably like
the music accompanied with it and the intensity.
Oh my God. Like it's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, like scenes in any TV series ever.
It's really good. So, which season is your favorite? Because season 3 is my favorite. The fire season. Season 1, water. I don't love season 1. It's not bad, but it just feels really slow, in my opinion.
I agree that season 1 could be slow, but all the best stories have a slow build up. You have to.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like it's not like the show's doing something wrong. Like you kind of have to start off slow. You have to build up the characters.
Season 3 is also my favorite, mostly because of Zuko. Not going to lie. I mean, his haircut in the 3rd season is great. Just saying. But I just like that they all kind of come together, and I'm really big on the whole Zuko's like, Zuko here, and he like joins in or tries to help them. And then going on their like smaller adventures, like helping Sokka break out his dad and then finding Suki there. And then Katara with finding the man who murdered their mother. You know, like I really, and then did he do an adventure with Toph?
Yeah, Toph was the only one who didn't get an adventure with Zuko.
I think she even made a comment. She's like, when do I get to go on my adventure with Zuko? Oh my God. But
Toph is like, I feel like the least main character out of all the main characters. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they don't give her enough attention.
That's true.
Compared to all the other characters.
I love Toph. Like, holy crap. Her character is insane. I think she's so unique. And I really love the fact that, one, it's super badass that she did metal bending. Like, she discovered it first. And I actually really like seeing in, Legend of Korra, like, how many people become metal benders. And I think it's, like, really cool. Like, I like how in Legend of Korra they have, you know, like, the daughters of, like, Toph and stuff like that. And then, you know, Tenzin, and Boomy and all of that. You know, I like seeing this, like, the kids and all that. But, Toph is...
like, oh, the sequel is the children of, like, the characters from the first thing. You know, like, yeah. I'm always kind of a sucker for that. I do like that.
Yeah. And it's, like, Toph is just, like, so strong of a character too, like, and so is Katara and Sokka. Like, one thing,
they're
like,
all strong in their own way.
One thing I always loved about Sokka was, like, he's not a bender, but that never stopped him. Like, that never ever stopped him, especially when he, like, got his space sword And,
I
like, he
know.
learned from, like, the master when it came to, like, all that type of stuff. So it was, like, he was really funny, and he was there for, like, you know,
Comedic
comedy.
relief.
Yeah, comedic relief. But in the end, like, when push came to shove, like, he was not afraid, like, to, like, put himself in danger to, like, help or try to get things done, especially with the finale, with the going from, like, the air balloon to air balloon. Like, that was absolutely insane. Him and Toph. I mean, Toph couldn't do as much because she's, like, literally in the freaking sky. She could do metal bending, but that's pretty much it. Once she got to the top, she really needed him, and he was able to help a lot with that.
Yeah, I love Sokka's character. I think it's important because yeah, he's the only one who can't bend, but he's not useless. Like he has his own strengths, and I think that's really cool. So
if you were a bender, who do you think you would be? I've taken multiple quizzes.
Bender.
Why would you be a waterbender?
Cause like, I feel like I don't. That's a hard question to answer. I don't know. I don't resonate with fire. I definitely wouldn't be a firebender. Cause like fire is too like. I don't know. I don't resonate with it. It's really like. I don't know. I'm not. I don't feel like I resonate with it. I mean, I know this is what they talked about the show, like talking about how it's not destruction, it's energy. Yeah. But I can't help but feel like fire is destructive. You know, like I just don't. I'm not interested in that. Earth is too like rigid. You know, I don't like rigidity. Is that a word? I don't even know if that's a word, but it's like
I don't think that's a word to see.
But anyways, you know what I mean. So it's between like air and water.
I could see more as a waterbender than the airbender.
Yeah,
You're not like very like. I feel like it is a word. Like okay.
It is a word. Okay. Rigidity is a word.
But
look, I feel like I'm kind of a go with the flow kind of person. I mean, I do kind of have a bit of a temper, but so does Katara, and she's a waterbender. So
that's true. I mean, we all know.
I
would definitely be a firebender. 100%.
Like, not just because of your red hair.
The red hair helps, yeah. No, I definitely think I would probably be a firebender, and I would possibly be on more the destruction side without meaning to. I just get real angry real quick, but that's just like the redhead in me, I think. But also just like I love like the idea of firebending. I think it's beautiful. Also, I mean, me with lightning would be like the best combo ever. Like, I would totally not misuse my lightning powers. It'd be fine. It would be so fine. I would probably just be like Iroh, you know, like super chill, relaxed firebender. I wouldn't be like Azula at all. Not at all. Can you guys believe me? Do I sound convincing? Oh, I also wanted to mention when we were talking about Sokka, they also brought in May and Ty Lee, who are also not benders, and they have unique traits as well. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Like I liked Ty Lee I felt like was more useful than May. I gotta say May was kind of like real background, and I also have a personal grudge against May because she and Zuko are not it, fam. They're not it
between them either.
I just can't
May
with them.
May is not necessarily a character that I like, but there's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, exactly. But
she
like
and Zuko really match up.
No.
I do like Ty Lee, though. I think she's really interesting with her, like, pressure point techniques and how she's kind of like an acrobatic kind of...
Yeah, I like that she ran away from home to join the circus. I think that was, like, unique. And she said that she had, what, like, 11 siblings?
So she joined the circus to be, like,
unique.
A unique person. So like, I like that, because I like... Each character has a very distinct backstory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you know what I mean? Like they're all given a very thorough backstory, very good character arcs. I mean, like, you know, May, she's so quiet and like depressed because she's an only child and she had to act good and she wasn't allowed to step out of line, and so that's why she's so like Like they say that's why she's so like emotionless.
Yeah.
You know, and they just they have such good backstories for every character. I love how much attention they give to the villains too.
Yeah. Because they don't just make them villains. They show why and like what are they struggling with as well during the time.
Other than Fire Lord Ozai, who wasn't given like he wasn't really fleshed out. But that's like, I'm fine with Fire Lord Ozai not being fleshed out because he's supposed to be the big baddie. He's supposed to be terrifying. And I feel like the more you flesh out the villain, the less scary they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you want them to be some mysterious figure that you don't know a lot about. Because that makes them even scarier, you know?
Like, even with Azula, like, you honestly don't know too much about her. Like, Zuko, you get a definite peek into his whole life, like, right off the bat. From, like, the first episode, you see, like, the, like, background between him and Iroh and talking about, like, the Agni Kai with his dad and his scar. And, you know, so, like, you find out way more about Zuko than you do about Azula. And honestly, I don't think you really find out too much about Azula until that final episode. And that's when it kind of clicks. When you see her, like, mental breakdown of, like, cutting her hair. And then, like, when Katara was actually, which I thought was, like, the way that Katara finished that fight, I thought was too easy, in my opinion, after that whole Agni Kai, because she just did, like, the freezing, and then she did with the chains, and I was just like, really? Like, it's fine. But, like, oh my god, this scene where they walk away and Azula is, like, hyperventilating, freaking out, and, like, breathing fire out of her mouth, like, oh my god, like, that was so good to show, like, how messed up, like, the pressure and, like, how having Ozai as, like, her role model and, like, even her, I can't remember what their grandpa's name was, but he was a total ass, too, because we saw him in one episode when they had a flashback talking about, like, Iroh wasn't fit, and so, Ozai was gonna take over, and then, like, the grandpa mysteriously died that night when, like, after he said that, and then so you think Ozai killed him, and that's possibly why the mom left. I think. I can't remember exactly on that regard, but, like, Azula was, like, spending so much time trying to live up to the expectations of being, like, the perfect, like, daughter for Ozai, perfect granddaughter, you know, that it, like, mentally was destroying her, like, her whole life, and she was just trying to keep her shit together. And, like, when she lost everything that she had, like, worked so hard for, you saw, like, that, like, a lot of it had to do with, like, her feeling like she was never loved by her mom and all this type of stuff. It was just, like, insane.
Yeah.
And, no, you go.
Something I'll be able to do. No, but so with, you know, their villains, so I'm a sucker for villains in general. Like, I just am so much more fascinated by villains generally than heroes, because, like, they're like why are they a villain? What makes them the way that they are? And I'm a big sucker for redemption arcs. Like, my favorite characters are always the ones who were villains and then are now like heroes. So that's like the reason why I love Zuko. I love redemption arcs. Okay,
yeah,
I love, like, gray characters, and so characters that start off evil and turn good, or even characters who start off good and turn evil. Like, I love that. I love, like, the gray characters. I've always loved that, and so they did Zuko really well. And, like, I love villains, and usually I feel like villains are not well fleshed out. Like, that's a problem that I have. Like, if I have a problem with a show, like, sometimes that's it. Like I just, like, the villains are just, you know, they're evil because they're evil. But if they have really good fleshed out villains, that makes me so happy, because like, that's important, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, like, Azula and Ty Lee and May and Zuko, you know, they're all very, very fleshed out. I mean, even, like, I don't know if you would necessarily count Jet. Jet is, like, one of the villains.
That's what I was thinking, too, when you said, like, good to evil. Like, because Jet was, like...
Jet. I don't like Jet as a character, but I love...
His struggle.
Because, again, it's, like, it's the morally gray thing. Like, I love his art, because it's also very interesting, you know, like,
Yeah.
like, is he evil, is he good? I mean, you know, like, it's obviously, you know, he's pretty messed up. The fact that, you know, I can't really remember what happened yet. I think his parents were killed by the Fire Nation. Like, his village was killed by the Fire Nation, right? And so he gets together he bands together a group, you know, and then they want to destroy a village of Fire Nation people. But that's, like, revenge, and they're also innocent people. Like, it's just a bunch of families. So, like, obviously that's evil. That's a terrible thing to do. But it's not... Again, this is what I love, why, like, I feel like it's so important to flesh out villains, because he's not just evil to be evil. Like, he thinks, like, he's angry about the Fire Nation, and the way he sees it, like, all Fire Nation is bad, so murdering this village isn't a bad thing, because it's Fire Nation, you know? And so... that's one of the things I just love about Avatar's Airbender, is that, excluding, like, Ozai, nobody's evil just because they're evil. Like, they have their own little...
They have a reason, yeah. They all have, like, a reason why they're so... what actions they're taking. Which is, like, insane.
So, like, I just love Avatar for that reason. And again, yeah, like, what we were talking about with, Katara... when Katara and Zuko went to find Katara's mom's killer, I thought that scene was so freaky good, because, you know, usually, like, I hate the kinds of scenes where like, the good people find, like, the bad guy. They don't kill him because, we're the good people. We can't kill and stoop to their level. Like, no, that's stupid. Like, really? Like, you can kill the bad guy and save hundreds of people, but you're not gonna kill him because that makes you just as bad. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That always drives me crazy. But, like, this was totally different, because the guy who killed Katara's mom was an old man. Like, he wasn't fighting anymore. He was completely helpless. He was just living his own life now.
And not a great life, too. Like, he showed how much he disliked his life.
Yeah, and he wasn't hurting anybody anymore. So killing him would only fulfill revenge for Katara.
Yep.
And so it was such an impactful scene, I felt like, because...
God, when she, like, stopped the water and she bloodbended him onto the ground, like, I was like, oh shit, she's gonna kill him!
And she was really facing off with, like, her darkest self. And she came out stronger on top. The fact that she didn't kill him, like, it was just so
powerful.
So good and powerful. And I love it. I love how great they make everything in this show. Like, it's my favorite thing when they have villains and heroes that kind of are crisscrossing.
And, like, especially with that, like, when Katara actually learns bloodbending from that crazy old lady, who, again, has a reasoning for being evil the way she is, because she was captured and she was stuck there, and she had to learn bloodbending in order to escape the Fire Nation's prison. And then she went undercover and was bloodbending people to the mountain, you know, and capturing them as, like, revenge. So it's like, again, they have another villain who's scary but has a reasoning behind it. I just thought of that.
She doesn't capture Fire Nation because she wants to. She had to learn how to bloodbend in order to escape, and I mean, I guess now she is kind of doing what she does, a little bit of revenge, but it's also I mean, it is, like, out of revenge. But anyways, like, yeah, like you're saying, like, that, like, there's reasoning behind it. It stems from something. She's just not bad to be bad, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And but yeah, Katara cried when she bloodbended. She, like, cried. Do you remember that? Like, when she was like, "Congratulations, Katara, you're a bloodbender." She, like, was on the ground, like, crying. So, like, when that scene happens, when she's facing, like, her mom's killer and she bloodbends him to the ground, like, you could tell that, like, she is not, like, there, really. Like, her mind is not there, and, like Zuko helps her. You know, like...
understand kind of why Katara broke down when she learned how to bloodbend, but, like, I never really, I don't know.
She just thought it was, I mean, like, it is, like, you're forcing someone else to like do body movements and stuff that like they wouldn't do. You're taking control of another person, and she doesn't want to do that. But
I don't know.
in that regard, like I understand her being a bloodbender for taking down the lady. So like I wouldn't understand her crying over that because she saved her friends from like killing each other.
Like, why are you crying like you saved your friends? Like, I understand that the bloodbending is like evil and bad, and like you feel gross because you learned how to bloodbend, but like I never really I didn't resonate with why she started crying. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just like I could understand that it was hard for her, but like at the same time, it's like just don't do it again if you really hate it that much. Like, and like
she just needed to save her friends.
Yeah, like Aang and Sokka would have like killed each other because she was like making them like pull out their sword to try to kill each other, you know? So she did what she needed to in order to save her friends. But yeah, I never really understand the whole crying thing, but then again, like
I understand it. I don't resonate with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't do the same in her instance.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I would be like upset.
Bloodbending was a great thing to do. I'm just saying, like, if I had to bloodbend in order to save my friends, but I like promised myself never to bloodbend again, I feel like I wouldn't cry. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she was more like she was just crying honestly from like how stressful that situation was.
Maybe.
You know, like I could understand that. Like me doing that for sure.
But in that episode, I did love how they fleshed out waterbending more too. That's another thing that I loved, like, because these are things that these are the kinds of things that you think about when you're watching this show. Like, oh, waterbenders, like they bend like the ocean, but like, wait a second, isn't there water like in people and in plants? And then you feel like they're just gonna like totally ignore that fact. But then they do it, like they show you bending the water in people and bending the plants, and you're like, whoa, you know, and you know, like with lava, which I still get torn on whether or not lava bending is earth bending or fire bending.
It's earth bending. It's earth bending. Because fire bending is they're like the only, if I remember correctly, they're the only bending. No, because like air.
I'm pretty sure in Legend of Korra though, there are some firebenders that bended some lava.
No, that was the brother. That was the brother that was an earthbender. That he did the magma bending or whatever.
Okay, yeah, no, they're saying that it's earth
It's earth bending. The special thing with fire bending is lightning. So lightning with fire. I think it's not fair because earth bending has metal bending and they have lava bending. Like, where's the second thing to fire bending? Is there another one? Am I just missing it? And then air bending, I don't think they have anything super special.
Something that I've heard people point out before is that if you're an airbender, can't you just, like, bend the air out of somebody's lungs to suffocate them?
I mean, you probably could.
Which is kind of messed up, but, like, that kind of makes sense. Like, can't you just... But, I mean, at the same time, like, I don't... Sometimes I watch these shows and I'm like, I feel like it would be way too easy to kill people because, like, if you can, like... bend air, you can just like bend the air out of the lungs, or if you can like bend water, can't you just like...
You have to remember, like, the airbenders were they were like the most calm and peaceful and spiritual, so like
I don't think
that was ever gonna happen.
Even if he could do that, I don't think he would, because, you know.
But yeah,
think about it, like sometimes I feel like if you truly try to utilize these powers, you could do like some pretty terrible...
Yeah. It's true. You could do some pretty bad things, and that's why it's like I think that's one of the reasons why like the air nomads, you know, were like the way they were. I think air can be, honestly, in that situation, probably the most dangerous. I mean, like just literally stealing the oxygen out of someone's lungs so they can't breathe. Like, how do you fight that? Like, you can't fight that. Like, with fire, you could burn, but you could still, like, live. Like, water, you could get away, you know, like, well, I don't know. Well, yeah.
Each element has their own, like, destruction type. I mean, if you, like, shoot lightning or fire at somebody. Unless there's like some water they could jump into, they're screwed. Water,
Yeah.
you can freeze somebody.
Mhm.
If you're frozen, you can't do anything. With earthbending, I mean, you could literally just like, can't you? You could just like make the earth drop out from under them and then like crush them. I sound really demented right now, but like I feel like each bending power has its own very lethal ability. You know?
It's just like,
So trying to say like, oh, which element is stronger than the other? Like, I don't know if any of them are.
it depends. It's
stronger.
more on like the wielder of it.
Yeah.
I
Depends
mean,
on how you
like
wield it.
the dragons. Can we just like the dragons with the fire bending? Like that's freaking insane, man.
I did love the dragons. Those were cool. I liked how they, were like, oh, there's the first benders. You know, for fire bending it was the dragons, and for earth bending it was the
moles.
badger moles.
Badger moles.
And then for air, it was like the sky bison. And then for water, did they say it was the moon? I think for water, they just said it was the moon. Or something.
I don't know what animal it was, actually.
Was there an animal for water bending?
I know
think
there's
there was
the
an
koi
animal for water
fish, but
bending.
that was like the peace thing. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
But I mean, I remember them talking about the moon. You know how the moon water bends, how it, like, pushes the tides.
That's true. I guess it could be that.
I don't know.
But, this is random, but I'm just gonna say it because it needs to be said. The Agni Kai is a way better fight scene than Aang's final battle, in my opinion, in the end.
I agree. I thought that Aang's battle with Ozai was a little underwhelming, to be honest.
I mean, like, it was pretty, like, they tried real hard to make it, like, badass.
It wasn't bad, but it didn't exceed my expectations. Like, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Like, the Agni Kai went in a direction I would have never expected. Whereas the battle between Aang and Fire Lord Ozai, it happened exactly as you would have expected it to happen. So there wasn't anything special about it to me. And I don't know. I don't care about Aang as much as I care about Zuko and Katara. I'm sorry. It's
Same.
Like I don't really care about Aang that much, and I don't know anything about Fire Lord Ozai, so their battle is like, eh. But like, I love Katara and Zuko, and Azula is such an interesting character. And so I agree, their fight is so much more interesting than the fight between Aang and Ozai.
Yeah, I just feel like, and especially just like the way that it kind of ended, it just felt like really like, I don't know, with like the overtaking, like the bodies with the like the laser beam of like the two different, like the good and the bad, and I was just like, what is happening?
I actually did like, that was like a I don't know, like subverting your expectations kind of thing that I did like, because they did do this whole build up of Aang, you'll have to kill the Fire Lord, and like usually, again, like I was saying, like I hate when characters are like, oh, I can't kill, that makes me just as bad as the enemy. But you know, it's different for Aang because he's like a nomad, and it's like
they're trained like
they're trained that way, and it's part of his soul to like not kill, and so it's different. It's not he's just like, oh, I don't want to kill because it makes me bad. Like no, like he can't kill. It's part of who he is and like his people. And so like I thought that was really interesting because I kept thinking, I mean, you know, like it's such a long time since I originally watched it, so I can't remember what I originally thought. But like rewatching it, it's, you know, kind of like, oh, like what's Aang gonna do? I mean, you know, he doesn't want to kill, but he has to kill. But then, oh no, surprise, he takes away his fire bending. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Which
I
is
mean,
great.
that was pretty good. That was a pretty good twist. I appreciated it, but again, I didn't care about Aang and Fire Lord Ozai as much as Katara and Zuko and Azula.
I mean, it's just Zuko and Katara and Azula, like
so good.
And like that sibling rivalry. My God, I can't speak. Is like so intriguing. You know, she's like little Zuzu, you know, like the whole time, and she like talks down, but like they always talk about like how gifted she is, and like let's just blue fire, like oh shit, that was insane. I like the blue fire. I think it like is super badass, and then the lightning.
Really cool.
And Zuko can't even. I don't even think he could produce lightning. I think he could only redirect it. if I remember correctly. So it's like she's a lot of like a prodigy, and so I still wonder though to this day if like she hadn't like gone around the Agni Kai and gone for Katara, like who would have won? I feel like she was pretty like off her hinges, and so that's why, because he even said that, he said there's something off with her today and I can't put my finger on it, but I could defeat her. Like he says that, so it's like he knows that he would not be able to defeat her if she was in her A game, but she's lost so much already, I think. So it's just, I liked that battle a lot because I always thought Azula would win. I always thought Azula would win, and so I was like, seeing her lose was real intriguing to me, though I wish it had been by Zuko's hand. But I understand why they did it, like Katara and Zuko.
I personally was fine with how they ended that fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could see that because there's this whole buildup of the sibling rivalry. You know, for 3 seasons, like Zuko it was versus Azula, and all of a sudden Katara is the one who defeats Azula. So I can understand where you're coming from, but
I mean, I understand it because he took
I think it was important to show Zuko's sacrifice for Katara
with the
because
lightning.
that really like honed in his character development.
Yeah, exactly. It just showed like how much they were made for each other.
Oh my god. Another thing I will say that another reason why I didn't love the fight between Aang and Violet Ozai is like I just always wondered like how is that a fair fight? Because I get that Violet Ozai has years of experience, but he's a firebender. Aang is the freaking avatar. Firebending and waterbending and airbending and waterbending and somehow
because like he's still a kid. Because he's still a kid and he only just learned. He didn't master everything though. He didn't master everything. Like Ozai is like a master.
Avatar state anyways, even though he was planning not to.
True, but
I didn't really think it was a fair fight because like I get that Violet Ozai is like more experienced and so he's supposed to be a really good firebender, but like Aang can bend all the elements. If he's a waterbender, can't he just like pick up the ocean, dump it on Violet Ozai, and then just freeze it, and then boom, problem
That's
solved.
true. He could. Well, yeah, he definitely could have done that because Katara did that. But I guess like he just didn't think about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But overall, the season's like insane. I think. Did you know that Dave Filoni, who did like Rebels, Clone Wars, and Mandalorian, directed some of the episodes?
Let's see which. Let's see. I have all the episodes up here. Let's see.
I think he did the first. So I know he did Blue Spirit, the Blue Spirit one where Zuko gets.
Okay, so yeah, he only did season 1. He did the first 2 episodes. He did Imprisoned, and then Jet. Blue Spirit, Fortune Teller. Fortune Teller was okay. The Northern Air Temple and the Siege of the North Part 2. Yeah. I did like Blue Spirit. I thought that was a very good episode.
I think that Dave Filoni did amazing. And I think after that, the reason why he didn't work on it is because he was working on Clone Wars, possibly. Or at least I knew he was like being kind of like poached by Lucasfilm for some stuff because he was getting such high praise over at Nickelodeon. I actually watched like the background documentary on Mandalorian, and he talked about like how that whole went down, like how he ended up working with Lucasfilm. But like I just think Dave Filoni is like absolutely fucking insane, like what he did. And sure, the first season is a little bit more of like a slower build up, like, but they do it so well, Yeah. But my god, the series is just absolutely fucking amazing. Too bad they had to fuck up the live action movie, though.
Oh. I think we were gonna talk about that, man. That is just so bad. They made Iroh and Zuko not funny. How do you make them not funny? How do you fuck up the live action adaptation that bad?
I mean, like, Sokka, like, was
I don't really have high hopes for the Netflix adaptation either.
Yeah, especially since I think the executives like that were a part of the original series left, and they said they're not gonna have any part to do with the current
direction they didn't like.
Which is like, why? Like why? So, yeah, the live action is just like Not great.
Don't watch the live action movie. Don't watch it.
Don't do it. Just pretend it doesn't exist.
Okay.
I just had to say it just because if anyone here hasn't seen it and they were thinking about seeing it, I'm just telling you right now, don't watch it. Here's a warning, and don't waste your hour and like 30 minutes of your life on that movie. And it's just a disappointment because like I feel like people have probably watched that and haven't watched the show, and then they judge the whole show based off the freaking movie. It's like, they're so different. My God.
Question.
Yes.
Favorite and most hated episodes? For me, my most hated episode is Nightmares and Daydreams in season 3. It's the episode here. I can send you a list of all the episodes. It's the one where it's the one where like Aang can't fall asleep because he's so freaked out about defeating Firelord Ozai.
That one's your favorite or your hated?
Favorite.
Okay.
I hate that episode.
I'm like, it's a little wonky. I know that they were trying to make it funny.
I like a lot of the filler episodes of this show because they're generally pretty good, but that one was so fillery. Like, it was just I usually just don't like dreams in shows because it's boring, and it's just Aang having dreams and nightmares over and over and over again, and it was so wonky and weird, and like I just did not like it. I don't like that episode. My favorite episode is actually it's a filler episode. Also in season 3, which one is that? The Runaway. I don't know why it's my favorite episode. I just enjoy it so much. So that's when where Toph uses like her blindness to like cheat in her earthbending to like cheat in like gambling games and win them, and then her and Sokka go kind of on a rampage. I don't know, I just thought that episode was really fun. I just really enjoyed it.
I did like that one. I have to say, for me, my least favorite would probably be the Ember Island Players episode.
You didn't like that?
No, I mean, like, it's funny, like, don't get me wrong, but it's so, like, comedic near the finale of the whole series. Like, if it had been in the beginning of the season, I would have been, like, way more into it. I was just ready to get to the finale, and in my mind when they were watching it, I'm like, why aren't they like preparing? Why aren't they doing anything? You know, like in my mind I'm like, I don't feel like they're about to face the fucking Fire Lord, but they are, you know. And like also the like island players, like I don't know, they just bug me. Like I just can't. Like my God, the person who plays Katara, like it just like I can't with the over exaggerating of literally everything. Though I do like that they have Zuko and Katara as like a ship in the Ember Island Players.
Oh, I was thinking of the beach.
No, the Ember Island Players, the play.
That's the one with the play. Okay, I was thinking of the one on the beach, and I'm like, well, I love that episode.
No, I love that episode too.
Okay, you're talking about the one with the play. Okay, yeah, I don't love that one either.
Yeah,
I don't love that one either.
That one,
I agree. Like we're supposed to be defeating Firelord Ozai, and we're watching like a play.
Exactly, and I just felt like, yeah, it's just so comedic. Like they're trying to make it funny, and I can't. Like Katara's person where she's like, oh my God, like my life is over. I just can't. And I'm just like, why am I watching this right now? I just can't even do it. And I just feel for Katara in that moment. And she's just like, I'm not like that. I mean, like, I'm pretty much probably like that, and I'm probably being a total hypocrite, but I just can't even stand it. I would
agree. If that was like earlier in the season, I would have enjoyed it more, but the fact that it was like right before the finale, I'm just like, what? I don't want to watch this. Like, I want to freaking watch them defeat Firelord Ozai.
I would say like it's a tie between that one and Appa's Lost Days, but Appa's Lost Days is well done, and so it's like the reason I least like that one is just because it hurts. It pains me to watch it. Like I'm going to cry when I watch that episode. I cry every single fucking time because I love Appa so goddamn much, and I can't stand seeing him alone, lost and confused, and I just want him to be helped. And you want to know what? You know who releases Appa? Zuko. Just saying. So # best person ever. No, it's fine. I have a little obsession with Zuko. It's fine. I would say like my favorite episode. It's hard to like pick a favorite. I like it's hard between like ones where it's like I like it for like the storyline or I like it just because it's like pure fun. You know what I mean?
The Runaway isn't necessarily like a good episode writing wise. Like it's not like a super well written episode, but I enjoy it. Like it's my favorite just because I really enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I did really like the Cave of the Two Lovers one with like the secret tunnel and all of that. Like,
cute.
I thought that was cute, but also I hate it at the same time because then it's like Aang and Katara, and I just can't stand Aang and Katara. God, what? I don't know if I could truly choose a favorite. Like, I would have to.
Rock is pretty good.
The Boiling Rock.
Mm-hmm.
The ones where like Sokka is trying to get his dad back with Zuko. I agree. Like that's one of the ones that's a two-parter though, so I can't choose like a favorite out of that. If it was like both of them together, I feel like I could choose that as my favorite just because like my god, the dynamic between Sokka and Zuko, like their brotherly bond in those, I just can't. It makes me so happy. It's just perfect.
I can't remember the line, but like when you know that meme line where Sokka is telling Zuko that his girlfriend became the moon.
Yeah.
And Zuko's just like, that's rough.
That's rough, buddy. I love that meme. I use that for like things. I'll send that to people. People will be like, "Oh, I have a midterm today. That's rough, buddy." It's just like classic. No, those are probably really good. I also really ship Sokka and Suki. I really like them together. I think they're really adorable.
Cute. I really like them together as well.
So like it makes me happy seeing like her there and like helping with that. Mm-hmm. You know, like because originally they go there, his dad's not even there, but Suki's there. And then the dad comes in. But, like, seeing, like, Sokka and Suki together are, like, literally so cute. And I love, again, Suki doesn't have any bending, but she's such a fucking badass. Like, all the Kyoshi warriors are. I just think that, like,
really cool.
Overall, like, the whole fucking series, I have, like, no issues, really, with, like, anyone who doesn't have any powers. You know? Like... or any bending.
Because if they don't have any bending powers and they give them something else that's really good. Yeah, I think that the only one that really didn't interest me that much was May. Because, like, May just had, like...
her ninja stars.
Ninja stars, whatever they're called.
I think they're called ninja stars. I don't know, but they're, like, ninja stars.
Shurikens or something? I don't really remember. Oh. But, like, you know... kunai? Okay, see,
I don't know the word for it, but that's all she has.
Whatever she has, it's like, it's fine, but like Ty Lee is like an acrobat, and the Kyoshi warriors have like their cool fans, and like... yeah,
they have like special stuff around it.
Yeah, and Sokka with his space sword, and...
space sword.
You know.
There's this one scene I can't get out of my head, though. It's like, I can't remember his name, but he was a... Earthbender. It was in season 2, Earthbender, and like Katara got herself sent to the prison.
Yeah.
And there was this one, and they were trying to get her sent as a Earthbender, and like she was like pretending to do the earthbending through like the vent or something like that. And thank you. But. That they were like, look at that lemur's earthbending, and I'm like, sir.
Comedy in Avatar: Last Airbender. Because usually I'm not a huge comedy person. I feel like because I usually like angst. I like angst a lot, which this show also has a lot of angst. But the comedy of the show is really good. It's really funny.
It's insane. Like, there's gonna be like, I feel like every episode there's like something that makes me smile. Except the Appa's Lost Days. But again, I just can't watch that. I just can't watch it.
Okay, another part that makes me really sad was remember when Zuko went off on his own and like that one family took him in?
Oh my god.
And then they found out that he was a firebender.
Yeah, and they told him to leave.
Go away, we hate you now. Like,
oh.
So bad for Zuko.
That hurt my heart so bad. I'm like, and he literally just saved them too from thugs. Oh my god.
So terrible.
And like the little kid too. He was like, "Go away, I hate you."
The little kid is knife, and the other kid was like, "Go away, I hate you." And then I'm just like, "Oh my god."
It like really shows that like it sucks because it's like even though he was doing good, like because of like. But he also said. He was just a normal firebender, I think they would have like let it pass. But he also said who he was. He said that he was the prince.
Yeah.
So I think that's where he screwed himself over in that situation. I would have been interested to see if he just said he was a firebender, like if they would have treated him the same. I mean, being the prince of like that awful person, but yeah.
I know.
But the story is like absolutely fucking insane. I like rewatch it all the time. I can't help it. I'm so happy Netflix has it again because they didn't have it for such a long time, and then I'd have to find it on Amazon Prime, and then they took it off, and then I ended up stealing my sister's discs because I wanted to watch it so bad. So now Netflix has it, and it's easier to access it. So woohoo! Well. I think I feel
like we ranted long enough.
I know. I'm like, we just talked about. I'm just glad though, because we talked about how much we dislike Game of Thrones. I felt like that was such like a rant episode. So it's nice to have like a refreshing like talk about how much we loved Avatar: The Last Airbender because they. I
was worried about doing this episode because I'm like, oh, but we love it so much. I feel like there's gonna be nothing to talk about. But like we ended up just.
Talking about
how much we love it, like.
So I feel like this has definitely been like a pretty like feel good positive episode, which I'm definitely here for. Yeah. So thank you for everyone who decided or came to our live showing of the podcast. I know it's been a couple weeks, but life. And so then we'll see you in 2 weeks. If you guys are not already following, you should definitely follow. You could do !socials to find us on social media, and we'll post when we post our new episodes. You could find us on pretty much anywhere you find podcasts or YouTube, especially, or even VODs on here. Thank you guys for all showing up, and yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If you have topic suggestions, don't forget to put them in the Discord. Okay. Bye.